Good morning. It is me, Pearl, and this is Tuned In Tarot, and we are about to begin the look at the energies, the energetic balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine aspects of self, understanding that whatever state these energies are in inside of ourselves, we can see reflected back to us in our outside world. So we can glean things from people in our lives. We can glean information about people in our lives from these readings, but really what we're seeing is just our own energy reflected back to us in some way. And if we want people around us to change, we really do have to change our energy. So, good morning. I had a rough full moon release day yesterday. If you were here in my reading, the power went out. The reading, I went back and watched it, and like half of it was like pixelated. It looked like a freaking Monet painting. There was like, I was misreading cards. I was like, I couldn't get my air mattress. Like, it was a really, really crazy day energetically for me. Really sad at different points of the day. Whereas the day before I had been like, I was really feeling confident and in my Empress energy. And like, yesterday was much more difficult. But when we're going through the energetic release that the full moon brings us, that can bring all of these things up to the surface. And we can see them finally kind of just pouring out of us. And that was really my experience last night. But I channeled that energy. I did like my full moon cleanse, and I started the unblocked full moon course that Lacey Phillips offers from howtobemagnetic.com. And I'm going to continue through that today because I started it kind of late at night and I got halfway done with it. So I'm going to continue my release through today. I strongly encourage you to use this energy to your benefit. Release those emotions. This is a full moon in Cancer. That's very emo, a lot of nostalgic things coming up. Issues from our past, kind of seeping through the cracks there, and practicing grief, etc. Okay. Divine Masculine gets to go first today, as he had the most cards showing, and he's got Overthinking, matched only by Divine Feminine's Overfeeling today. So we've got a couple in the midst of a struggle, it looks like, and let's get started. All right. The overall top of the deck for Divine Masculine headspace this morning is the Five of Wands in reverse. So we're seeing a Divine Masculine who's feeling like he's unstuck, right? He's been in this position with Divine Feminine and maybe with others in his life too. Maybe this isn't just about the Divine Feminine energy. This could be just about anyone that's been sort of giving him this battle that has been making him feel stuck or unable to really move forward. That energy is passing away, and he's not feeling like he has to fight against this non-motion that's been happening. Also, this inability to be able to communicate because he's been at this impasse with Divine Feminine. We're seeing this energy pass away as well. So that's at the forefront of his mind. He doesn't feel like he's stuck anymore. The niggling thing in the back of his mind is the Lovers. It's in reverse. So this is feeling elusive for him at the moment. He is really feeling like he doesn't have what it is that he wants, which is this full connection with the Divine Feminine and the reunion that he's been looking for. And he wants to have a new relationship. It might not be like a new relationship with another person per se, but he wants to be able to see the Lovers in a new way. I get a sense of that this is about wanting to renew what has been between them and change it and transform it. And I think also the protected aspect of the relationship, he's feeling challenged, like as in, I thought this was protected. You know, I believed that this is something that has been protected between us, and it feels like it's not right now. So he's really ruminating on that in the back of his mind. It's like cycling there. The first thought in his headspace is another 5 in reverse, which it's good because it's seeing these 5s. It's like the stuck energy, these impasses. And these are, of course, mundane things. They are things that are, you can get through them, you know, but this is, good morning, Emily. Good morning, Ash. But this is definitely a sense that he is not wanting to accept this defeat. Now, remember, we saw this defeat in his headspace yesterday. And he was feeling that divine feminine was defeated and walking away. There was definitely this energy that he was like holding on, and she's just like, bro, I'm good. Like, I'm good. And he is feeling today like he's definitely not willing to accept that defeat at this point. Not going to do it. I'm feeling that very strongly. The next card up is the Page of Cups in reverse. Now remember, this is an energy that this particular divine masculine frequently chafes against. He does not like to feel like this, you know, youthful, immature page, even though this is a very heartfelt, sweet, romantic, loving energy. It's like the energy of a 14-year-old boy who falls in love for the first time, you know, and like is putting notes in her locker. You know, it's very, it's not a developed way of expressing. And he's really resisting this energy from himself. He's not going to be defeated by, basically, he feels so underdeveloped in expressing love in healthy ways. He understands about himself that he comes to divine feminine with this desire to apologize and to, you know, offer this pure and innocent love that he has. But he wants to do that as a man, like fully developed, fully grown. Remember, energy, not gender, though. Like a person that is fully matured. And not be, you know, fucking around with this silly, immature, awkward expression that he consistently has. He's not willing to accept the defeat that this is how he has presented, but he's wanting to release this immaturity and come to divine feminine with in his full power. And he wants to communicate. He wants to communicate for sure. This is the strongest desire that he has right now. This is also about sexual energy too, but it's very much that his feeling that strong attraction that he has to the divine feminine that makes him feel all of the words I'm thinking of are just not appropriate, but it makes him feel very drawn or pulled towards the divine feminine. It is his strongest desire to be able to express this attraction to her, to be able to speak and communicate. He's really, really, really thinking so much about this. This is the card that has all of the overthinking with it. And then we have the Tower in reverse. So there's been a Tower moment. Y'all have felt it. It's been an extreme one in some cases. It's caused a lot of pain. There's been pain. There's been 10 of Swords. There's been heartbreak in this situation. It's caused pain. And we are sort of maybe in this full moon energy releasing the effects of this, of what has happened. And this is what he's not also willing to accept defeat in regards to. When the Tower comes in reverse, there is an element there. There's a layer that suggests that it is very difficult to rebuild. If you haven't fully released everything, then it's very difficult to build something new. And remember, he really wants something new. He wants a new relationship between the twins. He wants to renew this connection between them and bring it from its immature place that it has been in and mature that into something that's higher up in the court, like king and queen level, empress and emperor level. And he's not willing to accept this defeat that he is not able to rebuild this tower. He's the one that has to initiate the rebuilding of the tower. Divine Feminine's out. She's out. She's done. The last few days, she's been like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with no communication. I'm done with the feelings that I'm experiencing from my divine masculine that are making me feel less than worthy, making me feel shame, embarrassment, small. And so she's stepped away from that energy, and she's holding out in her worthiness for something better to come along. So divine masculine is feeling like his hands are tied a little bit about being able to rebuild this tower, because how do you rebuild something with somebody who's saying she's out? What he's missing is that this communication, or maybe he's not missing it because he's thinking about it right now. He's understanding that this communication has to come in order to shift the energy of the tower and be able to rebuild. And then we have him in the 7 of Wands energy. He loves this energy right now. I'm sorry, 9 of Wands. I don't know why I said 7. 9 of Wands energy. He loves this energy right now because this energy is where he needs to be. He's fully accepting of it. He's healing these wounds. This tower moment left him feeling very, very wounded. And by divine feminine, actually, even though she didn't really do anything to him, she did stuff for him, remember, but it left him feeling really wounded. And he's licking his wounds. He's protecting himself. He's doing the healing that he needs to do. He's really healing this energy, this feeling that he doesn't know how to love, that he doesn't understand true love, that he doesn't know how to express true love. He's healing this because this has been such a block for him coming forward. Chafing against innocent, pure love. It makes him feel ridiculous. Like, it just makes him feel powerless because he has, I think he has few models for really how to express this kind of love for someone. And it's really prevented him from being able to just, I think, express, but like be in this innocent place to be able to start new, to start fresh. You have to start from the beginning, right? You have to start from this place where you don't know what you're doing. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable. The tower is about being really uncomfortable. So he's trying to heal this energy in regards to that page energy, to accept true love, to feel true love, to not let it make him feel ridiculous or foolish. And then clarifying this Ace of Wands, which is this big communication, this big action he wants to take. We have the 10 of Wands. Now, this was here yesterday, but it was in its reverse because he wasn't ready to put down the burden yet. He was resisting putting down the burden. But today he's like on this page where he wants to put down this burden. He's been carrying a lot on his shoulders in regards to this communication. This has been a big burden for him to not be able to communicate. And he's ready to speak his truth and speak to divine feminine and tell her what it is he's feeling and what he's gone through and how she's made him feel, etc. We have the overthinking that's going on. The burden has been that he has not been willing to bring her this reunion, that he has not been able, maybe not willing, he's been willing. It's just, has he been able? He's not been able to bring her this reunion. And he's been struggling with that burden of being the one that has to come in and offer the cup, and being bound in some ways to some belief that he wasn't able to. And really, when we're seeing him in this 9 of Wands energy, what we're seeing is he wasn't able to bring her this communication because he had all of these wounds that he was needing to heal in regards to being able to love someone. This is not something that he's been really confident about being able to do. So he's had to heal these wounds. And in so doing, that will allow him to shift into this energy where he can bring about this reunion. So this has been a big burden to him, that this has been on him to facilitate, and he's not been able to do that. And the other burden, now look at these 2 pages. He freaking hates these 2 pages. hates them. This is the one where he feels like a loser, right? He feels like he doesn't have enough to offer her. He feels like he has not been able to communicate because what he's had to communicate to her is, I haven't believed that I am capable of bringing you this reunion. I haven't believed that you'll accept my offer. You know, I hear you saying that you love me the way that I am and you accept me unconditionally, etc. But then I also hear you and see you as this empress and understand that I need to be my emperor and I need to be bringing my A game. And I feel like I can't because I've been so burdened with these ideas about myself and about who I am and my worthiness, etc. But this is a releasing of these fears, a releasing of the energy, a releasing of the resistance, which also happens with full moon energy, to being able to express and also believing that he is less than, that he is too immature, that he doesn't know how to love. All right. Thank you for the overthinking that allowed us to clarify that communication, because that is really what he wants to tell Divine Feminine. Let's go to his heart space. Top of the deck for the heart space is this Four of Cups energy that we ended the heart space on yesterday, but today it's in reverse. So he is not sitting here in this fantasy energy any longer. He was grounded, meditative, connected to the divine. And now the overall feeling of his heart space is, for me, when I see the Four of Cups in reverse, is I am ready. I'm ready to come out of fantasy. I'm ready to come out of my escapism. I'm ready to be here on the earth. I've gotten what I needed and I am ready. And what's he ready to do? Can't make it up, folks. He's ready to communicate in a big way. Take a big action. The Ace of Wands in union, upright, head space and heart space. I am ready to communicate. The first thing in his heart space that he will feeling he wants to communicate is this Four of Pentacles. Now, this Four of Pentacles is about a foundation, right? It's a stabilization in the material world. It's also about clinging, and it can be about grasping. But when we see this in the cosmic tarot, the imagery is this doctor, it looks like, giving advice, or, you know, some kind of, I mean, all I can think of there is a medical doctor. And I know in our day and age, medical doctors are paid pretty well. So we're thinking like somebody that's has this foundation, but it could be about clinging to outside validation, right? Like you need this doctor to tell you things about yourself. So there's some kind of message there about clinging to outside validation for me. But he's feeling stable, and the stability that he's feeling is what's making him very determined not to accept this defeat. Also, he's not willing to let go. This is, I am not willing to let go of this, of the lovers. I'm not willing to let go of the reunion. I'm not. Divine Feminine might be ready to let go of the physical union, but I am not. He's wanting that to be very clear. No. Then we have the Chariot. Now, he's felt out of control for a couple of days, especially in regards to him receiving this energy that he's receiving from the Divine Feminine. But today, he's feeling in control. He did go into that Hanged Man yesterday in the same position, actually, as we're pulling this card today. And he did surrender to the divine, and he let the divine take the reins. And now we're seeing some forward motion. And we're seeing that forward motion towards this maturing, right? This Page of Cups energy, the expression, the true love, the heartfelt feelings, and the apologies, right? He is making forward motion, maturing into this place where he can actually be expressive and communicate with Divine Feminine. And then we have the Prince of Swords, aka the Knight of Swords. And it is, or I'm sorry, I keep doing that. Wands. God damn. He is, I should drink more coffee. Clearly, I need more coffee. He is releasing this Knight of Wands energy, the shadow traits of the Knight of Wands. He is borrowing the light traits whereby he can throw caution to the wind and make this communication that he desires to make. But he does not intend to make any sort of communication that he is not planning to be consistent about. He's also telling us that this is not about sex for him. There's sexual energy, there's sexual attraction, of course, but it's not about that for him at all. And so he's really in his heart space releasing the shadow traits so that when he communicates, it will not be with that same immature energy that we were seeing Page of Wands into, Page of Cups into Knight of Wands energy. It's not going to be immature, and it's going to be something really heartfelt, but thoughtful, right? It's not just going to be inconsistent. Then we have him in his Nine of Swords. And what he's afraid about is exactly what I said before. He's afraid he's not going to be able to rebuild this connection with Divine Feminine because of what she's been expressing about her wanting to move on. She's wanting to move on to a worthy partner. And he's trying to release his fears in regards to his worthiness so that he can rebuild this tower with Divine Feminine. And then we're getting this again. The World. It is not over. It is not over is the strong feeling that I get from this card. It is not over on two levels. Number one, he's not willing to accept defeat in regards to this physical union. So he's feeling like it is not over in that way. But he's also feeling like he's not completely healed himself. He's not completely healed these cycles yet. And that's another reason why this connection, this completion that he's desiring is not quite here yet. He knows he must communicate that this healing is taking place and what it is in regards to so that Divine Feminine can be aware. He understands that the communication has the potential to be able to keep them connected in some way so that while he goes through this healing process and ends these cycles he's been in and completes this cycle between them, that he can have his world, which is, of course, the Divine Feminine. It's union with her. And then we have the Eight of Swords. It is upright, and it is the Cosmic Tarot deck, which I mentioned yesterday, had this imagery in it. So we still have him in Eight of Swords energy, and he's feeling it. He's feeling, interestingly, though, that it's Divine Feminine who is not looking at him, right? He's turned his back. Divine Feminine has turned her back on him. And he's feeling like he's building up this fortress around them, keeping them blind, not seeing each other, not revealing, binding her here in this prison with him. It has been what has caused this self-sabotage that has sabotaged the potential reunion. And it's his own inability to bring the reunion, focusing on the past, not being in the present moment, his unworthiness issues, and the burden of these issues that have made him sabotage the lovers, which he wants to experience. All right. That's Divine Masculine. Pretty interesting. Let's take a look at Divine Feminine. Oh my God. Fuck. Okay. This is nuts. So, top of the deck for Divine Feminine, overall, forefront of her mind is no communication. This is, I didn't hear it. I didn't see it. It's not here. My message is still not here. We saw this yesterday. This communication, still not here for us today. It's also that momentum she was feeling. She was feeling a lot of momentum before. And that is kind of slowed down. There's a slowing of the momentum forward she's feeling, both towards this divine masculine, but I just think in general, like she felt so kind of pumped the other day because she's like, I'm in my Empress energy because I'm choosing myself and it's really good and everything. But now she's feeling the reality of being her own partner and feeling the momentum kind of slowing down a little bit on how good that felt at first when she first considered it. But there's a positive side to this. As I look at the niggling feeling, the positive side to not receiving messages is that she's not receiving messages from this guy who was at the top of the forefront of her mind. He's moved into the back of her mind now. So now we have this Knight of Wands energy, which is upright. So it is mirroring divine masculine's Knight of Wands energy, wanting to release the shadow traits of that Knight of Wands. For divine feminine, we're seeing that she's not receiving the kind of messages that she was normally receiving from this impulsive knight that really wasn't consistent. He might have just been in his sexual energy towards her and not really giving her anything of substance to hold on to. We're seeing that that's who she's not receiving messages from at this point in time. And so that's not a negative thing because she doesn't want messages from a Knight of Wands. She wants messages from a different version of the divine masculine. So that's forefront and back of her mind. The first thing in her mind is 10 of Swords. So this is painful ending. Now, I can resonate with this because this was part of my release energy last night when I was in my full moon release. And it was just really, really the feeling, the real pain of ending, any kind of, it was like releasing my dreams, my escapism in regards to the divine masculine, to this physical incarnation of him and this physical union, and feeling the pain of that loss. Like just, it's a lot of grief. There's a lot of grief for me. And then of course, when there's that loss, there's like then a void there. Now the void allows you to fill it again with love and with the right person for you. But creating that space inside of ourselves is very, very painful. So she's definitely, it's not the 10 of Swords, it's the 9 of Swords, but all of that still applies because it's about those feelings of pain and what she's thinking about and her fears and her anxieties that have propelled her towards this 10 of Swords, this painful ending. She's got a lot on her mind in regards to what has happened. And, I can see exactly why I just said that we're heading towards the painful ending and the ending and the separation, etc. But in a lot of pain, with a lot of worries, with a lot of anxieties, with a lot of fears, and trying to release those energies because her world, her cycles, not completely ended yet. She's trying to end the cycle that she has with divine masculine. So they're in union here. There's the world upright for both of them, which is the end, the completion, the end of separation. And here it is like this. It's not over. So I see divine feminine feeling similarly. While she is not seeing this communication from this Knight of Wands, which is good, she is afraid that it is not over. She's also afraid of the end. She's afraid of the separation. And she doesn't know what will come, what will happen now that she has made this decision to walk away. So she's afraid of what this means. And also the feeling that it's not over with this King of Swords, who is in the same position as he was in yesterday. He's the third card, the third thing in her headspace again. It's just crazy how that happens. And this this also was here yesterday too. So it's like the same thing. This is moved from the forefront of her mind into the back of her mind, right? Here's the King of Swords still in his position in her headspace. He still has command over her. And that is also what she's afraid is not over. That she's still ruminating and thinking about this King of Swords and really desiring for him to show up in his integrity and communicate and be direct. But experiencing this cold, aloof silence where he doesn't give her any messages and he doesn't express to her. Or if he does, it could be in this way that's very cold. And she's wanting to put down this burden. This is back again. We have I can't pick up the cards because there's so many. A union. There's a lot of union today. We have this union here, this burden. They both want to put down their burdens. For Divine Feminine, it's this burden of her fears in regards to the ending and the feeling of the fears of it's not over. She wants to release this. This is what she really wants to put down and release. And the pain that's associated with this experience and the burden of carrying this feeling of it's not over with this person who just will not express, who's just icy and cold. And she's in that Four of Swords energy. She's maintaining her silence in regards to Divine Masculine. She is not sending any messages to him for sure. And look at the colors as they're shifting here from this purple, the crown chakra, the red, the blues, the throat chakra, and then into the root, like these reds. So this energy like passing through her, this complete cycling of this energy. She's also praying about this end. She's praying for an ending. She's not necessarily praying for an ending, like never see him again type of thing, but she's praying for some kind of completion of this cycle so that she can stop thinking about him, stop focusing on him, or the separation itself just be ended and then they can go from there. But she's really in that place of silence and contemplation and grief. This was the card my eyes were drawn to when I was talking about the grief that she was experiencing with that Nine of Swords energy. And then we have the Death card, and it is in its reversed position, which to me is always emphasizing the true meaning of the card, which is rebirth. Something has died and will be reborn. And it is clarifying this King of Swords. So it's like her feelings, her beliefs about this king are dying. They're passing away, and she's having new beliefs about him. She's feeling a new way about this king, or her feelings for him are being reborn, or her feelings for the connection itself are being reborn so that she can see this in some kind of a new light. But that's heavy, heavy energy in her headspace. Let's go to her heart now. We should have 6 cards. We have 8 cards. So she's overfeeling, which is definitely true. Not surprising with this full moon energy. The top of the deck, overall heart space, though, is Queen of Cups. She's in her feels, but she's in command of her feelings, right? It's not conquered them like the Queen of Swords. It's just in command. She's able to feel them, pass through them. She's being intuitive. She's psychic. She's feeling compassion and kindness and generosity. She's very just. And she's fully in her power as this queen of water, emotion, etc. And very, very linked to the divine feminine in the moon energy that's currently here right now. And the niggling feeling, which I love, is that she's really feeling a release of this 5 of Pentacles energy, being left out in the cold, and also this lack mentality. When I was doing my full moon ritual last night, I did you do like these DIs or like this hypnosis thing where you go and she kind of like takes you through this experience and then you write down what you experienced. And I said the common thread in the tests that I've been experiencing, like tests being the universe is testing you, like testing your manifestation. Do you really want this? And then it tests you. I wrote down lack of communication, lack of reciprocity, lack of money, lack of certainty, lack, 5 of Pentacles. And what's really interesting about that is to see this. That's what I was then working to release, right? Because that was what I identified as being the things I was being tested on. So I was being tested on my lack mentality. And then my work over the next day is going to be to process that and release it. And so that is the niggling feeling that she has. This Queen of Cups must release these feelings of lack, because this is what keeps her in the cold. It's her belief that she can't have love, or that she can't have, security, financial security, or whatever it is that that she's experiencing. She's working to release that feeling. Here is the Ace of Pentacles. It's upright, and it's an interesting position because it is clarifying the Nine of Swords. So we have fears and anxieties and worries about this Ace of Pentacles, about this real world offer. She knows she's going to get a real world offer of some kind, whether that's a job offer, an offer of love, or an offer from herself to really take her material abundance into her own hands and release that lack that she's in. We know that this is going to happen. She's afraid of her power and her ability to do this, to bring herself this kind of an offer. She's also afraid of getting an offer right now from Divine Masculine. She's afraid that that is the thing that is making her feel it's not over, that she's going to get this offer, and that she's going to have to assess it then and figure out in that Page of Pentacles energy whether or not this offer is genuinely matched to her worthiness. And she's afraid it won't be. I can tell you that right now. She's afraid that when she gets it, she's going to have to turn it down. She does not want to. She wants to be able to work this out with this physical manifestation of the Divine Masculine. So she is afraid of him coming in and giving her this offer and her having to be like, I can't do it. It's just not where I'm at. But remember, when you're afraid and you're worrying about something, you're creating that. So we have to work on releasing the fears in regards to this offer. What if it's not too small? What if it does reflect your worthiness? She's definitely got to keep her feelings and her intuition in check with her thoughts so that she can create the type of offer she wants to receive. Then we have the Three of Cups. It's interesting to see such a tumultuous headspace and then see the Three of Cups upright and not have it be about third-party energy at all, but instead about celebration and the reunion and clarifying the feeling of the world. It's not over. The Three of Cups has not been achieved. It's not happened yet. We're not celebrating. It's not here because this isn't over. And she actually feels, remember, her headspace was in the Nine of Swords. Her headspace is worried about the offer. Her heart space, which is intuitive, feels like she's actually going to have something to celebrate. What is not over is that the separation is going to end. And that is going to be something to celebrate when she receives that offer. And then we have union with Divine Masculine again. Eight of Swords. I just want to double check because I keep saying the wrong cards all the time. Also, I got a new tarot deck that I'm going to get tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. It's one that I've had my eye on and I've got Christmas money to spend. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to get my new deck. And so then I'm thinking about that. I'm going to have yet another imagery to learn for these readings and misquote as I'm talking about them. But you just do it. You just do it. You just do it. You just take the new cards and you just learn them. This is how you learn them. But anyway, 8 of Swords in union with Divine Masculine, because she feels bound and blind to this connection for sure. This has been her sabotage. I think she's feeling, though, that the sabotaging energy in this respect is coming from her protecting herself from the truth about this king. That truth could be she associated him with one physical incarnation and it's the wrong one. It could be she was in her fantasy about how far he's come in his healing and that he's been more ready than he's letting on. And it could be that she's sabotaging her ability to be this King of Swords that has the ability to strategize and implement his strategy and command his armies and conquer his emotions and make shit happen in the material world. But she's got feelings of sabotage, which, remember, we reframe as self-protection. Her strength is being challenged today. Now, we keep seeing this card, but her strength is really being challenged today. And it is a burden. It is in regards to this burden that she's carrying. She doesn't know if she's strong enough to put down the burdens, not to carry them. She's been strong enough to carry them this whole time. What she fears she's not strong enough to do is put them down. But she must do this. She has to make a choice. There has not been a balance. There has not been reciprocity. There has not been a partnership. And this is what she's praying about. She's praying about the choice she has to make in regards to this physical manifestation of this divine masculine. Because there has not been a balanced reciprocity between them, she is praying and asking for guidance in choosing to walk away. Walk away from the rebirth. Walk away from the reunion, from the rebirth of this connection, because she is afraid that renewing this connection with this King of Swords, who's not here, is not serving her. She's really trying to figure out. She's getting readings that are like, walk away from what doesn't serve you. And she's like, is it my physical manifestation of the divine masculine that doesn't serve me? And then she listens to another reading or pulls a card for herself and it's like, walk away from what doesn't serve you. And she's like, is it my divine? So she's praying to not have to make this choice to walk away from the rebirth, because it has for so long been something that she has wanted. And that's why she's feeling like she's not strong enough to choose to walk away from this divine masculine, which is making her feel like it is not over. And then, oh, wow, here is her over feeling. Knight of Swords. She's so desiring to see this Knight of Wands transform himself into this Knight of Swords and approach her with a strategy, with a plan, the one that she saw yesterday in his headspace, to take action swiftly, to save this connection from dying, to save her from having to walk away. She wants to be saved. But what do we know about these cards and these readings? She has to save herself. She has to save herself. But she really feels like she is not strong enough to choose to walk away. She's trying. She's doing it. She's working on it, right? She is working on it. She's got all these feelings. Wow, my hair looks so crazy because I did like a salt cleanse and I always like just immerse my hair and that just looks so crazy. Oh my God. She is able to be in command of her emotions. She's able to endure these emotions right now with this Queen of Cups energy. But she's afraid she's not strong enough to really follow through with this choice to walk away. She knows she's got to do it. I think she's given herself like a time frame, you know, like maybe by the new year. And she's really praying that she doesn't have to make this choice. She's praying that he's going to come in before she has to make the choice to walk away from him entirely, because she knows that if she doesn't see him, if she doesn't get this message by whatever time frame she's given herself, she's like, I'm going to have to block him. I'm going to have to not think about him again. I'm going to have to remove all the vestiges of him from my life so that I can create that space for a real match to me, a partner that really matches me. A partner who approaches me from a place of true love. True love. Who's not afraid of this purity. Who's not afraid of the innocence of love. Who wants to start fresh and have a new beginning in love with me. So, Divine Masculine has a deadline. Let's go look at his oracles. Not too bad today. Got a couple of extra. We like to see that. We like to see that there's getting a handle on their situation. They're not needing tons of advice. All right, Divine Masculine, you are in the shadow traits of the networker, which is conveys information only for personal gain and spreads fear and falsehood. And the image on the networker card is messages, letters, right, being sent. And if the card appears like this, it looks an awful lot like this. Not sending messages. Only sending messages that are for personal gain, which is some Knight of Wands shit. And spreading fear and falsehood by withholding information. So, come into the light. Enhance unity through the sharing of information. Right? Enhance unity through the sharing of information. Fucking talk to Divine Feminine, please. And engender social awareness and empathy. This is also about you revealing the secrets that you're keeping from Divine Feminine. You're not only keeping those secrets from Divine Feminine. In fact, if you're keeping those secrets from Divine Feminine, who you feel so connected to and like and able to be vulnerable with, et cetera, that means that you're definitely not conveying this information to anyone. You're spreading complete falsehoods out of fear and not being willing to expose yourself to whatever you think is going to come. Your persecution card came out yesterday for expression. So there's definitely a sense here that you've got some information that when you reveal it could potentially result in your persecution. And so because of this, you are actually spreading falsehoods about your truth. So it's not even just that you're withholding the truth, it's that you're actively lying about it because you don't want to be seen. You feel responsible, like you're supposed to protect yourself. Really, it's yourself. You've convinced yourself you're protecting Divine Feminine and you're protecting this person and this person and this person, but no one is protected by falsehood. You're protecting yourself from consequences. Come into the light. Come into the light and send messages that express the truth. And you better do it quickly. You better do it quickly. Hero or heroine, you're in the light attributes of this, which is a passion for a journey of personal empowerment. So you have the ability to be the hero here. You are realizing that this journey is for your personal empowerment and that both you and Divine Feminine are ascending. And you have the ability to be a hero. You are fully boosted in this energy, and you're receiving advice about it. Have that passion for your own journey of self-empowerment. Your guardian angel is here to tell you that practice makes perfect. Perfect doesn't make perfect. If you're like, oh, this has to be perfect, or I can't do it, that's not how it works. Practicing makes perfect. You need to practice. You need to be doing, not imagining. I can imagine all day long how cool it would be to be able to play Mozart again. I'm not going to be able to play Mozart again if I don't practice. But you know what I hate? I hate when I go to practice something I can't do it perfectly yet. That's why I haven't learned guitar. That's why I don't try to learn more difficult classical piano pieces, because I am perpetually in this place of like, well, I can't play it yet, so I'm not going to do it. Practice. You have to get comfortable with not knowing how to do something. You have to get comfortable with this. How do you mature? How do you get better at this? You practice it. You practice expressing. You practice loving. You are matched with your twin, who is the only one on the planet that's going to be willing to accept the practicing with you, because she is in the same place as you are, and she is completely understanding of who you are and how you are and why you do what you do. So if you're going to practice with anyone, you might as well practice with your twin. I almost said your queen, because she is your queen. You might as well practice with her. Practice makes perfect. My slightest improvement is of such great value, right? So when you practice, you get the slightest improvement, right? And that is of such great value. There is tremendous value when you are able to deliberately cause even the slightest improvement in the way you feel. For even in that small emotional improvement, you may have regained a measure of control. You no longer feel powerless. And so you trek back up the emotional scale. It is not only possible, but it is relatively easy. So the slightest improvement, like let's think, if you're thinking, this is over, it's never going to happen, I can't do anything, I can't rebuild the tower, I'm pathetic, I'm, whatever. And you think in that whole long list of terrible things that's bringing you down and making you feel terrible, you think for just a moment, you have the slightest improvement, and you think, but it could happen. Boom. Grab onto it could happen and run with it. That brings you back into your power. That puts you back into the chariot energy, so you can trek right up that emotional scale toward the manifestation that you are desiring. Divine masculine. This is a time to give rather than to take. It is time for you to give. I don't need to say anything more about that. Take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. Bro, you have 8 cards in your headspace. You're definitely on a treadmill right now, thinking the same things, just being right in place, doing the same things, having the same things happen to you. Take a break from the behaviors that you have been engaged in from the past. Take a break from those behaviors. Get off the treadmill of that cycle. End that cycle. Break the cycle. That's the message I'm getting from this one today. That's weird. Why didn't I put that card down? Oh, whatever. All right. And finally, starfish spirit, open to infinite possibility. And this is from my Spirit Animal Oracle deck by Collette Baron-Reid. And so I'm going to read it to you because it's new and I haven't learned all the cards yet, and they're beautiful. Now, you got the protection message from this card today, which is when cynicism says no, Starfish spirit says yes 1,000 times over. Are you willing to entertain new possibilities? Are you limiting your goals in order to be realistic and cutting yourself off from the power of dreaming big? Let go of your rigid beliefs about what is possible for you, and let Starfish Spirit inspire you to open your heart and your eyes to what Spirit has available to you. Now is a time to stretch beyond the familiar and unfurl yourself, for you are meant for more than you are imagining for yourself. Spirit wants the best for you and will support you in achieving whatever intention you hold dear. Wow, 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 wow. That tracks completely. This deck is crazy. I love that deck. Okay. Divine Feminine. You are in the light attributes of the rescuer, which is provide strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. So you're in the light attributes. You're not in the shadow of the rescuers. It's very easy to slip into the shadow attributes of the rescuer, which is like codependency and enabling, etc., and like preventing someone else from their power, and you're not there. You are providing strength and support to others, and you're acting out of love with no expectation of reward. And you're also not keeping the rescued ones needy. You are empowering people. You aren't rescuing them and then they feel like they need you to rescue them. You are showing them how to rescue themselves. Your guardian angel is here to tell you to be brave. You're scared right now. You're scared of losing the separation. You are scared of choosing to walk away. You are afraid to walk away. You are afraid if you walk away, you will never be whole again. But you know that is not true. You know that you are whole right now, and that what you walk away from is what doesn't serve you, what doesn't match your worthiness. It takes a lot of bravery to face these fears about the end of something. It takes a lot of courage. And you're supported right now. Your guardian angel is here to support you so that you can be brave and do what you need to do. I can gradually change my vibrational frequency. There is no thought that you cannot eventually have, just as there is no place that you cannot eventually reach from wherever you are. But you cannot instantly jump to a thought that has a vibrational frequency very different from the thoughts you're usually thinking. Boom. One of the fears you have is that you're afraid you can't put this burden down, that you're not strong enough to choose to walk away from divine masculine, that you're having trouble, that you can't stop thinking about him, whatever. There's no thought you can't eventually have. You are gradually letting go. You are gradually walking away. If you gave yourself the deadline of the first of the year, do you think you're going to be done with divine masculine by the first of the year? Love you, babes. But you're going to have to take more time than that. It's going to be gradual. This is a long process. The half-life of your connection with this physical manifestation. Whatever that is, psychologically, they tell you it takes about that many years to cycle through, or months, or whatever it is in terms of your relationship. Although most of the people in this collective, we're looking at years. If you've only been in this for a few months, you might be at a different stage in your journey than we're actually seeing here. But regardless, it's going to take time. You are only gradually going to be walking away from this person, but eventually you will have done this, right? You will have released this person, and then that energy can come in. It doesn't mean that it's going to take you that amount of years to get into another relationship. God, I fucking hope not. I'm going to be so old by then, but like, whatever. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It just means that don't have this expectation or feel like you're sabotaging yourself because you're still thinking about this King of Swords and wanting this King of Swords. That's not sabotaging yourself. You're going to think about it. It's okay. But it's how you choose to react to your thoughts that matters. If you start thinking about him and you start getting into the grief and you're just letting that kind of run with you and you just, oh, I'm never going to be whole again and whatever. That's problematic. You have to do the work to gradually shift. So when he's occurring to you, when you want to check his social media, whatever it is that you're fearing that you can't stop doing, it's how you choose to react. If you think about checking his social media 10 times today and you do it 9 times, you're gradually right? The practice thing, the slightest improvement is an improvement. So start to acknowledge that, because as you start to acknowledge that, when you thought, you know what, I did resist looking at his social media 5 times out of 10 times yesterday. And then you'll wake up one morning and be like, oh, you know what? I forgot to look today, right? But it is a gradual process. Meditate and contemplate. As you meditate, you shut off that 9 of Swords energy, you cut off that energy, and you immediately go within and you are connecting with the divine. And then in that place where you're connected with the divine, you can contemplate with that teamwork from the divine. Ooh, that reminds me, the songs today. For Divine Masculine, friend is a 4-letter word, which is by the band Cake, who I love. And it's about him, but you know, he's being very cynical about Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine is saying like, oh, I just want to be friends. And he hears love. He hears that what she actually wants is love. And that's what he actually wants too. So he's saying that she's protesting too much, basically, for her to be like, no, you know, I don't want this connection or whatever. He's like, for me, coming from you, friend is a 4-letter word, right? And then for Divine Feminine, she got 2 songs, one of which I couldn't put on Instagram because it wasn't there. So I put the second song, but the first song she got was Sailing Home by Karen O and the Kids, from the Where the Wild Things Are soundtrack. And then after that, she got Team, which is an instrumental song by Bon Iver. And that teamwork idea, it just occurred to me from whatever I just said. I don't remember what I just said, but anyway, it made me think of the song so that you could know what songs came up today. Interestingly, both of Divine Feminine songs had no messages. They had a title, but they did not have any lyrics. And that tracks with her 4 of Swords, where she's staying silent. She's remaining silent and also not wanting to hear messages from a Divine Masculine that's in Knight of Wands energy, only wanting to hear messages from Knight of Swords, King of Swords. And then finally, Divine Feminine, there are some adjustments required here. So you do need to make adjustments in your thinking. And you got to make that choice, babe, about walking away. But you're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. You already made this decision. Right now you feel like you're not strong enough to follow through with the decision that you made. But you made the decision. You are strong enough. You are overthinking that. Keep facing your true north. Your true north is yourself. And then we got this lovely card, Dear Spirit, bring a gentle touch. The time has come to be gentle and diplomatic when dealing with others. You might have found yourself in a situation where negotiations are necessary in order to reach your goal. Be mindful of the words you choose, but do not worry. Dear Spirit reminds you that you have the ability to be sure-footed and confident while showing humility and respect for others. This is also page 55, by the way. You will find that your capacity for calm and grounded communication is heightened at this time. Follow the way of Dear Spirit, and you will do well, gaining the respect of others and finding common ground that is pleasing to you. Remember that understanding others and their needs will be more powerful at this time than putting your own first. If you do that, you will be rewarded tenfold. Now, this is an interesting message that I also received myself last night. So it's really poignant to me that it's coming again. But this is about being sure-footed and confident while showing humility and respect to the Divine Masculine. And it is remembering that understanding Divine Masculine and his needs will be more powerful at this time than putting your own first. So that is a tough spot to be in. That puts us in this place of like, yeah, but I'm trying to choose me. You can choose you in a respectful and loving way. I heard a message today from Mystic Moon Oracles that it was actually the very first card she drew was about basically letting go of attachments with love, right? There's letting go of attachment with anger, and there's letting go of attachment with love. It's understanding what he needs in order for him to experience this separation without a lot of wounding. So just being in your integrity, being sure-footed and confident about your decision to choose yourself, because remember, that's a favor that you're doing for Divine Masculine, because he is going to emulate you. And that's good for both of you. You love this person, do you not? I know I do. I don't want that person to be in pain or hurting, but I also don't want that person to be hurting me. So I am choosing myself so that I can protect myself from being shown anything less than what I deserve, anything less than what my worth is. And when I do that, I'm insisting that I'm worth more, and someone I love must match me there, which means I am raising his worth as well. Right now, Divine Couple, this is the bottom of the deck for you both. You are in the light attributes of the goddess, which is the feminine expressed through wisdom, natural life force, and sensuality. So you have goddess protecting you, goddess energy protecting this union. The union itself is really, the divine feminine is being expressed through this wisdom that you're both seeking and applying in your lives. And you're being very conscious of nature, life force, and sensuality in regards to one another. Your guardian angel is here to support you as you receive your reward, because when you walk away from what doesn't serve you, and when you finally take the reins of that chariot energy and start to control your ego, you start to prepare yourself to receive a reward for your efforts. So your guardian angel is here to support you in that energy and help you receive your reward. Remember, Divine Couple, I will never get there, so I will enjoy my journey. You cannot ever get it done because you cannot ever cease to be, and you can never halt your awareness. Yet out of your awareness will be born another asking, and each asking always summons another answering. Your eternal nature is one of expansion, and expansion is the potential for unspeakable joy. So you felt that coming into physical union was getting it done, but it's not. It's just one aspect on a journey that is eternal. And if you can start to enjoy that journey, that expansion itself brings unspeakable joy. No matter where you are in this moment, you will start to feel relief. You will start to feel better, because this is never ending. This is like you bought a video game, right? And I have my video game of choice is The Sims, which I haven't played in a while. Maybe I'll play that today. I keep saying I'm going to play it. Maybe I will. When you play a video game that you really like, you usually play it again. I mean, when I was a kid and I had Metroid, I would play that over and over and over again. It was so fun to go find all those, even though I had done it before. It was just fun. You got to some kind of a completion there, but you felt like you wanted to do it again, or they'd release a sequel of the game and you'd get to start that journey again. You don't ever get this done. You just keep getting to play. You keep getting to play, but remember that you're playing. And when you play games, like, you get frustrated and shit happens, it's annoying, and you just go back and do it again, you figure it out. You're like, oh, I have to jump off this wall, and then I have to do a double flip and do that. You remember that shit? That's what this life is like. You got to figure out how to parkour through it. Parkour. Okay, prosperity lies ahead. It lies ahead. You think it doesn't, because right now you're in this struggle. You're in this energy that you're you're kind of fighting against yourselves a little bit. You're trying to be strong. The prosperity that you're seeking, the reward that you're being prepared for, it's down the road a little bit. You are birthing a new age, bringing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. We are on the verge of 2021. I don't want to hype it. I do not want to hype it because we don't know what's coming, but it's new. It's new. 2020 was new for us. None of us, I mean, the word, everybody should get a tattoo if you survived 2020 that said that, just the tattoo unprecedented, because was that not said every freaking second of every newscast that ever existed? Unprecedented. All the time, all day, right? We're about to enter another time that's new, that we've never experienced before, where we start to pick up these pieces and see what the tower has left behind and rebuild. And it's painful to birth new creations, so don't expect this to be just a smooth sailing ride. Like, there's going to be some bumps. We have elephant spirit. Learn from the past. Ooh, that's profound without even me reading it. But I'd like to, so can I get to page 25, please? Thank you. All right, the oracle messages. Although we often wish we could leave the past behind, elephant spirit reminds us that memory matters. We must respect the wisdom of the elders who hand down to us traditions they have shaped to express our connection to each other and respect for the community. What has come before informs what we are experiencing today, and we must never forget our legacy of strength and dignity. Elephant spirit appears with the message that we are to acknowledge that which came before and learn from it. All of us are memory-based creatures, and we must revisit the past to understand where we are and where we are going. The stories of events you have experienced, the stories in our collective memory, and the stories of relationships you have had can be told many ways. What story will you tell? Elephant spirit is here to encourage you to make it one that stirs in you a sense of power and dignity, for you have honored yourself by choosing to learn from your past. Spirit rejoices at your willingness to learn and grow, divine couple. You are learning from the past permutation of your relationship. That information is helping you in birthing something new. You're taking all the wisdom that you've gained from this process, and you're really going to be much more successful in your lives from this point on, not only in regards to the reunion, but in your whole lives. Because this journey that you thought was about a person, you realize was really about yourself. And all of the ways that you interacted with this person or people have shown you how you can expand, how you can grow, how you can do better and be better and feel better. And so you're fully in a place where this relationship that might be hurting you right now because you're feeling this loss, this grief about where you are, or about walking away, or not wanting someone to walk away, whatever it is, if you can go into the 6 of Cups, not only the reunion, but the basking in the memories that have shaped you and finding ways in which that wisdom has allowed you to grow, you will be better for it. And then I'm closing this out today with the goddess Hel. And I might not be pronouncing that correctly, but it is Hel, Hel. Hel is the Norse queen of the underworld, a mother goddess in her underworld guise. She rules over a fiery womb of regeneration, and it is especially responsible for those who die of disease or old age. Her underworld, unlike the Christian hell, which received its name from her, is simply an otherworld, a place of renewal rather than a place of punishment and misery. When northern shamans visit her realm, they put on Hel Kape, a magic mask. Wow, that's relevant. Sometimes a helmet that renders them invisible. It is possible that the masked harlequin, a standard character in Commedia dell'arte, was originally one of the kindred of the goddess Hel. Hel is an embodiment of the divine mystery, a challenge to look behind the mask of appearance, to see things as they really are. Wow. I'll just leave that there for you all to chew on. today. All right. This was a beautiful reading. It wasn't bad. I just saw 1444, which means I've been doing this for a long time. It is a tough place to be right now, especially when we were like racing towards what we thought was going to be physical union for some of us. Some of us did come into physical union. They're probably not even watching this anymore. Congrats to those people. Others didn't. Others, the energy shifted and they really saw that they were still too attached and it was, and that they weren't fully in their own power, etc. And so that's where we're at right now in the collective. And it's not a bad place to be. It might feel bad, but it's not bad. It's never bad. You have to enjoy that journey. You have to enjoy the expansion. You have to realize that you are only your obstacles that you are throwing in your way. You've asked for them. They're protecting you from this next phase, but they're giving you the time that you need to heal, right? They're giving you the time. They're giving you the desire to go into a place where you're healing from your wounds. So it's not a bad place. It might not be exactly what you want. It's not what I want. It's not. I don't. I want to be in physical union. But I don't want to be in physical union with someone who doesn't match me because I don't want to feel bad anymore. Like, I definitely wanted to break my sobriety the last few days. It's been really challenging. I've been like putting, an ounce of weed into my favorite cart from Good Tree every day and looking at it and then closing the window, calling my sister and being like, hey, I totally want to buy weed, right? It's been very difficult to be here in this space for me. I'm sure for you too. And I want to escape and I want to do the things that I used to do that were self-sabotaging. But I keep choosing myself. I keep choosing to feel better and to do better. And I could not have figured this out without this journey. So I have gratitude for it, even if it's very painful. And it is very, very, very painful. So it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And you have to really hold on to that because you asked for this expansion because you want to be the best version of yourself, because then you will feel mastery. You're never going to feel completely good. There's not this thing that you're going to be like, I'm going to watch the reading today and it's going to give me all this information. And I'm going to come into union. I'm going to feel so good and my life's just going to be amazing, 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 amazing forever. Your life is amazing now, every single day. It's going to continue to be amazing every single day. And that includes the pain, and it includes grief. It includes loss. It includes self-sabotage. It includes, all of the things. It's everything. It's everything. If you can let that pass through you and just feel that, then what the mastery is it allows you to navigate all of those experiences gracefully so that the time between the suffering and the joy is shorter. It's not so extreme. You're not suffering for such long periods followed by, bursts of joy. It's more even. It's more balanced. And that's what we're working for. Balance. All right. I'm going to stop talking. Tamping my Leo energy down. Be quiet, Leo. I hope everybody has a good day today. Thank you so much for being here. If you need a personal reading, please jump into my DMs on Instagram or email me at tunedintarot@gmail.com. Please like, subscribe, share, click notifications so you know when I'm going live in the morning. I also usually post on Instagram like a clip of the shuffle and the songs that played during the shuffle. So follow me on Instagram so you can see that, because as soon as you see that, within 5 to 10 minutes, I'm usually live after that. So that's another way to know that I'm going live. If you have need for nutritional counseling for the new year, I do that. I have lost over 150 pounds in my life, although that is not why I do nutritional counseling. That was a side effect of choosing to love myself and not bearing the burden of self-protection anymore. But I have a lot of knowledge about nutrition. I am working to become certified as a Whole30 coach. So I'm taking on, at a very reduced rate, Whole30 clients. If you've never done that before, hit me up. I'll tell you what it means. It's really great. If you want musical things, I also do music, and stay tuned because I'm going to start 2 workshops in January. One, music production for women, which is going to be 4-week long. You will finish producing a track of your own by the end of the 4 weeks, with my help as a co-producer. It will be a workshop environment, so we'll all be working together. And then I'm going to do a workshop about using tarot for personal growth and expansion. So I can show you how to explore this balance by using tarot cards and going deeper into your practice and trusting your intuition even more. So that's going to be coming up in January too, and I'm excited about that. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day today. Be strong. You can do it. I'm not going to buy weed today. Have a good day, everyone.